Alright, so today I'm coming to you from the heart of Hollywood and Highland. I'm about to check out Icons of Darkness. This is the largest collection of screen-used horror props in the world, owned by one man. Let's go check it out.
One of the things we are, really honest about, or really specific about, I should say, is what's screen used and what's production made.
Okay.
So these are all made for the actors in Batman Returns.
These are the actual...
But these are all the actual ones made for the film and the actors. But you have to remember, for each one of these, there were like 6 to 10 backups that are identical.
Okay.
This is screen used because Michael Keaton wore it in at least one scene. These are production made because they never ended up using it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Michael Gough, who played Alfred in the first 4 Batman movies, this is what's called a life cast. So this is actually a mold of his head and face.
Really?
Yeah. That's not a recreation, that's the actress. To be a stunt head in the Age of Ultron, stunt head just means they would put this figure in a scene that was just too dangerous for the actor to be standing next to, like pyrotechnics or something falling.
Okay.
But it is a life cast of Sam Jackson. These are all screen used from Batman and Robin. The Mr. Freeze costume is not made for any, you can't sit in it. So
I didn't even see that. That's awesome.
This is a screen used Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man. I love that piece.
Yeah, that's really cool, huh?
That is a screen used Stallone Judge Dredd. And this one gets me every time. That is a screen used Christopher Reeve Superman costume. From 1978. Wolverine battle suits. This collector, if he cannot get the real production made deal, then he goes to the lengths that this is actually molded from the original RoboCop suit. It's like making a brand new one, but from the original artist's mold. Screen used Spawn from 1997.
Wow, look at this Spawn, man.
They're rebooting that.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. That bat suit behind the Joker is one from The Dark Knight.
Oh!
This is molded from the production T-Rex, Mother T-Rex from The Lost World. So she is to scale and screen accurate. From Gremlins 2, the new batch. I love these.
This is great.
You can still see some of the control armatures attached to the puppets.
Oh, wow. Yeah, back there. I remember Joe Dante talking about how when they did the bar scene, they were just cooped up in that bar for like a week straight, just coming up with gags and stuff.
This is all screen used Mila Kunis, a Wicked Witch of the West. Even not just the broom and the costume, but the actual makeup, prosthetics are screen used and preserved on this figure. And then this amazing artist, Mike Hill, who you'll see much more of later, this incredible recreation of Margaret Hamilton as the Wicked Witch.
Amazing. That is crazy detail. Yeah, that's really awesome.
And you know, the thing about Mike's stuff that's for the really old creatures and characters is that there are no molds to reference or to utilize. All of his stuff is photo reference.
Right, just going right on. That's amazing. That's an eye.
Yep.
For sure.
Screen used Orc from Fellowship of the Ring.
I remember that guy. Meat is back on the menu, boys.
The Brachiosaurus is molded from the original, from the first Jurassic Park, the one that sneezes on him in the trees.
Oh, okay.
Flea stacks from the remake of Land of the Lost. It took 3 people to operate Goro.
Really?
One person was standing inside, totally blind, no monitor, nothing. then a second person above and behind the shoulders operating the top arms, and a third person to operate the head and face. They made several of these for David Prowse for Empire Strikes Back for the filming. They made one extra identical one, not for David Prowse, but for an actor they found that's the same height and size as David Prowse. They made this. They had this actor go with droids around the country and promote the release of Empire Strikes Back in 1980. And then all of our Star Wars stuff that you'll see, if it isn't production made or screen used, it is molded from the Lucasfilm archives, so it is screen accurate. Voldemort robe. That is a screen used acceptance letter to Hogwarts to Harry Potter in the Philosopher's Stone. And that is a screen used Harry Potter costume from Deathly Hallows Part 2. We have screen used exoskeletons from Terminator Salvation, T2. All three of these costumes are screen used, T3 and the T2. And the head and the glass case both utilize Arnold's life cast.
Okay, and there's his life cast right there.
This K2SO is unique because even though he's a completely computer-generated character in Rogue One, ILM made him for the production as a stand-in and a reference. So this would help so many departments, seeing him on the set standing where the character is going to be CGI'd. The life cast of Mark Hamill from Jedi and life cast of Ray Parks from The Phantom Menace. The Metaluna mutant from This Island Earth, 1955. His arms and his head are actually molded from the original sculpt.
My dad would be freaking out right now.
I always think of my dad when I see this. He would love this, These are both screen used Rick Baker creations, Academy Award creations for Men in Black 1 and 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Screen used dead alien from Cocoon. More Rick Baker from Men in Black 2. You can see some of the controls still attached to this guy. The Mars Attacks characters were all CGI, so those are recreations, but all the props they're holding are screen used.
And those props down there are screen
they're
used?
all screen used.
It's so cool.
Screen used Host and Parasite aliens from Independence Day.
That's rad. Is that the one that Will Smith is dragging around the desert?
I think this is the one in the Area 51 lab.
Oh, when he grabs his throat and
stuff?
stuff?
In the operating room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have a Klingon costume and stunt head. And we have a recreation of Spock from the original series. You can see the bust that the Michael Clark Duncan mask is on is actually from the makeup department, has his name on it. So this is a life cast of Anthony Hopkins, and that is a screen-used muzzle from
really?
Silence of the Lambs, yeah. It's pretty cool.
That is cool. Wow. So you can zoom in.
You know what you look like to me, Clarice? You look like a rube with your good bag and your cheap shoes. This is an incredible recreation, even down to the beads of sweat. All individually hair punched in the stubble. The jacket is screen used. This is one of Jack Nicholson's jackets they used in The Shining. Honestly, this is the one thing in the collection that I have no reference for. I've never seen this movie.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. Well, Dead Silence. It's James Wan. This movie is scary. I mean, especially if you get creeped out by dolls really easily.
I'm not
they really play that up.
From Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah. Now, is this just a recreation here?
This is, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Very cool, though. Oh, you're having a bad day. Oh, God, that creeps me out, dude.
I was going to say, when I'm back here alone, the only one I give the little side eye, because I'm like...
Yeah, and especially because of that scene, when the painting.
Oh, still to the... Her habit is screen used.
Okay. Let me just zoom in here just so people can get an idea. I feel like she's gonna possess me right through the camera.
I love that actor who plays him. John Carroll Lynch.
Okay.
He's, you know, he spent the first half of his career playing all these nice guys. You know, he was in the Drew Carey Show. He was the husband in Fargo. Then what changed his whole career is playing the main suspect, Arthur Lee Allen, in Zodiac.
That's right.
And he's so good in
That's
that
right.
movie.
Yeah, that's right.
And then after that, he's just playing all kinds of creative.
Oh, that's rad. Whoa!
The makeup isn't, but the Pennywise costume is screen used.
Okay. It's such a good movie too.
I know, I love those.
That's cool. And he got him.
So now this is the Alien Predator the Thing room.
Oh, sweet.
This is one of my favorite pieces. This is screen used. This is
the original Carpenter.
yeah, from John Carpenter's The Thing. This the collector's friend, one of the collector's friends is a creature maker in his own right, and he restored this about a year ago.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this guy's just like, it's my homie. That is really
Let's try
impressive.
Bravo Team is what I was blinding on.
That's from the second movie, Aliens.
Yes. This is molded from H.R. Giger's original Alien suit.
Look at that. And you look at it, it's so Giger. When you look at it so like up close, you really, yeah.
And you'll notice that this one doesn't have the classic dome over that skull feature.
Right.
That's because when they originally went with this concept, but then pretty close to filming, Ridley Scott decided that it was a little too human-like a feature, so they added that dome to sort of obfuscate
the skull part.
Yeah, the skull part.
Right. So then, oh, okay.
Now, and even that one's clearer than in any of the films. It would have been darker.
Right. It's a little more like tinted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A fun thing that I always tell people, just because most people that come through here are not in the industry, is H.R. Giger used a real human skull in the suit mold. There's this really good docuseries on Shudder called Cursed Films that addresses something that matches with this story, which is, if you ever heard those rumors that like the set of Poltergeist was cursed because they used real human skeletons. Well, they did.
Yeah.
Every skeleton you see on small screen and big screen are human skeletons. It's cheaper. They get them from medical schools. It's standard practice.
I know this isn't the screen used one.
Creation, yeah.
Now I heard the original head casting that they made, when they were transporting it, the heat had gotten to it, and it made this weird, goofy smile.
That why?
And that's why he smiles at the end when he says, "You have my sympathy."
To match it.
And he smiles all weird to match it when it goes. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I always wondered why that choice. That's interesting. That is a screen-used Predator 2.
Wow, that's awesome.
They just added the eyes where the actor's eyes would have been. So the Queen herself. She is molded from the master prop, the original one being in Stan Winston's school for makeup and design.
That is so huge.
So she is exact except for the articulation.
Wow, that's amazing. These face huggers down here with the eggs. Oh, yo! That's awesome.
This is screen used from Predators 2010.
Oh.
There you go.
Right there?
That's Stan Winston's personal one. He had that in his office for 20 years.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I'm wearing that shirt right now. Wow.
I love that design. The good guy doll that's sitting is screen used from Child's Play 2. as is the box with that sort of faux-looking Chucky behind him. Now, the reason that Chucky looks just so non-detailed, it's just a piece of plastic, is they saved money not making hundreds of these dolls for the warehouse shot where there's hundreds of good guy boxes.
Oh, okay, so they just made little kind of...
And it's so far back you can't tell. You
can't tell it's a little... It's just hollow then. It's like...
It's just a vacuum formed front.
Kind of like those old Halloween masks.
Exactly, yes, yeah, totally. Robert Englund's life cast and makeup application for A New Nightmare.
Wow. That is really cool.
From Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter.
Okay.
This is screen used Billy the Puppet from Saw 2.
Very cool.
Oh, he rang the bell. He doesn't always do that. It's good luck.
Oh, really?
Rings the bell for you, yeah.
Sweet.
So then we have, this is a screen used Raptor. But what's different about him is there's no, it's just all manually. A person had to actually crawl
up in it.
That, and yes, no animatronics. And then the tail, you see the tail there they would put on when they were inside.
That's crazy.
This is one of the crown jewels of the collection. This is the one and only T-Rex from the first Jurassic Park.
Wow.
Whenever you see the T-Rex in the first one and it isn't CGI, it's this.
It's that head right there.
Obviously, we can't even fit the body in the building.
Right.
So they were doing, Stan Winston's team was doing something that had never been done on that scale before. And they overlooked something. It's made out of foam rubber, which is standard. That first sequence is shot in the heavy pouring rain. So they turn on the rain machines, and this 2-ton monstrosity goes to almost 3 tons. It's just a giant sponge.
Oh, right. I didn't think about that. So it absorbed all of the water.
All the water. And it still worked amazingly. They didn't even know if it was going to work properly. But all this wear and tear you see is not from age. That's all just from the production.
From that.
And that's because all that water wreaked havoc on the material.
Actual texture.
They just had to keep touching up.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
That's a screen-used mask prop, and then those are molds of the actor's makeup. This is very unusual because this is the actual makeup applications, Greg Nicotero's makeup from the first episode of Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
And it's very rare that they save the actual applications on figures. Recreations of Michael Jackson's Thriller.
That's really cool.
And then after Thriller, we have the classic Universal movie monsters. This creature from the Black Lagoon is funny because if you look at this picture down here, it's Hugh Hefner's personal one that was in the grotto for many decades.
Oh, really?
So if this statue could talk, you would have a lot of stories.
Right.
The collector was personal friends, was lifelong friends with Hef, and threw and produced the Playboy Mansion Halloween parties for 30 years. Classic Lon Chaney Sr. as the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
The Man of 1,000 Faces. Beautiful recreations of the Universal monsters are Mike Hill, that artist.
Okay. Wow.
He was in here yesterday and I was bummed that I missed him. I've never met him yet.
Yeah, look at that. Bela Lugosi, man.
It's insane.
Wow. I gotta zoom in on that.
For a lot of years, I thought the story was a urban legend about Bela Lugosi being buried in his Dracula costume, but that is in fact true. That was in his will, and you can go online, there are photos from his open casket funeral showing him in his casket with them. These are life casts of these horror icons and creepy icons. And then for some reason, Bruce Lee, we don't know why, but there's a bonus.
Oh, wow. That's American Werewolf. That's another one of my favorites.
Me too, and it's molded from the original creature.
Really?
Yes.
Look at him. You remember that at the end? And he just went running through the street.
The son of the actor who played Phantom of the Opera, Lon Chaney Jr. And then we have the Howling Werewolf. They were coming out at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
And Joe Dante changed his to an upright when they found out their design because they wanted to at least kind of differentiate. The Joker is insanely realistic.
Realistic. Wow. How's it going, dude? You were the best Joker. Hands down. Oh, wow.
And her nightgown is also one of the screen use nightgowns that Linda Blair wore on set. This is the alpha female, original screen use from the first Jurassic Park. So whenever you see the Raptor and it isn't CG and it's realistic and it's moving, you're looking at her. This is just a personal copy Stan Winston got for himself. Then we have a life cast of Joaquin Phoenix. This is a screen used stunt head and costume from the Night King in Game of Thrones. Abe Sapien and Hellboy himself. Brad Pitt life cast for Benjamin Button.
Dang.
Fantastic Four. This Rocketeer is screen used. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So then we have molds of Jim Carrey's makeup from The Grinch.
That's rad.
And then a mold of the Harry suit from Harry and the Henderson. These are production-made scissor hands, so that you can put your hands in them and they move. Juggernaut. That is a screen-used Brandon Lee.
Really?
Pro, yes.
Wow, it looks real. Ghost Rider.
The Tony Stark racing jacket from 2 is screen used. The suit and tie from 1 is screen used. And this is the screen used Park Reactor.
Oh, that's cool.
The Mrs. Doubtfire is not only is the costume screen used, but that is actually Robin Williams' makeup application preserved on this figure. Doc Brown's costume is screen used, as is the time machine remote control.
Great.
And then this is molded, the ET's molded from the studio's copy of the
Dude, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. That was a great, that was absolutely great tour.
I love doing it, so glad I got to take you through.
All right, that's gonna do it for Icons of Darkness. That was an incredible collection of artifacts, and the tour is great. People there are awesome. Definitely come down and check this out for sure. Anyhow, thank you for watching. If you're new here, you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. We will catch you on Flippy Flip.